Aries, sun, moon, but especially rising sign. The month of February is all systems go. You are moving forward with such ease and success. It's going to feel like somebody took the parking brake off your car and you were trying to drive in the month of January, even December, and things just weren't really going forward in a way that all good Aries like, which is with bold, declarative, pioneering, and brave adventures. And so finally you get the thing happening that you've been trying to get happening, or things that you need to get happening are now working. Now, a lot of what this has to do with is that Jupiter is moving through the sign of Aries, which is your sign, and your Lord Mars is in not only forward direction since the middle of January, but moving up at a higher speed during the month of February, flowing back to you from your third house. And that's going to bring you opportunities for so much goodness in the online world, educational opportunities, travel opportunities, and even reconnecting or connecting with siblings or extended family. We're going to go into a lot of details because there's so much goodness for you this month, and I'm so excited because I have my sun and my moon in Aries, so I can really relate, and I'm looking forward to it. Okay, if you are new to my channel, my name is Lori Lothian. I am using the traditional astrology of Hellenistic astrology. It's a whole sign house system. It is also the Western tropical zodiac. This is not sidereal or Indian or Jyotish astrology. And I say this at the beginning every video, and every time someone asks me in a comment what kind of fucking astrology I'm doing, excuse my language, just check the description, the beginning of the video. Stick around for this part. It's all about you anyway. I tell you what kind of astrology we're doing. Now, you can tell that I've got 4 planets in Aries because I swear a lot. Now, I can't help myself. And now the other thing I want to say is if you are new to my channel, welcome. And please hit that bell for notifications if you want to know when I put something up. I put up at least 30 videos a month, and I have live premieres in which people win contests and free readings from me. But if you're not subscribed, you won't know that this stuff is happening. And the second thing is that if you are new and you want to learn from me, I teach astrology. I have my Sky Reader, Being Your Own Astrologer, Time Your Best Life course starting in March, 8 weeks. It's live with me, it's intimate, and there's a wait list. You need to be on the wait list really in order to get in, because I usually fill it up just by sending the email to the people on the wait list, and it never goes back out to the public. And there's also other classes I teach. My Cosmic Moonshine newsletter weekly forecast gives you a 20% discount code for a reading with me, and also has its own contests and special opportunities. So check it all out below. And I am booked out now until April. I'm recording this on January 21st. And my Patreon community gets all of my content ad-free ahead of time for as little as $5 plus 2 monthly meetings with me on Zoom in gatherings. So if that interests you, check my Patreon community down below too. So you don't know when you guys are going to get this, but probably around January 25th. All right, so let's talk about the sky. I'll try to keep myself at a slow pace for those of you who think I talk too quickly, but you can also slow the playback speed down. So number one, the beginning of the month starts off with a bit of like gritty energy. It's intense energy, not necessarily negative. There's going to be a square from the sun to Uranus, really around the 2nd to the 5th of the month. You'll be feeling that. And then right after that, like kind of overlapping, like from the 3rd to the 6th, you have Venus squaring Mars. And they're 2 separate stories, and they're really maybe not even connected to each other, but they're worth noting. So the earlier story, kind of pivoting around the 3rd, 4th in intensity, is you could come into a place of some unexpected development, surprise or shock regarding something to do with a leader, somebody in power, or just some career or purpose objective. Now, it doesn't have to be a negative shock per se, but it may feel like you have to confront something head on, dead on, with a friend or somebody you thought was an ally, and you may be finding that now you're having this sudden or unexpected vibe with regards to finances and money and that friend or ally or person. So this could be a difficult conversation about who owes who what, or what the terms really were, but there's just that little glitch in the first week because it's really quite a lovely month. The reason it's go-getter is all the planets are moving forward, including Lord Mars and Jupiter, and these are very influential for you this month. Go systems, go forward. Now, ironically, in the stats, when I put these videos out, you Aries are the ones that are least likely to watch the video. Go back and look at my other playlists of these videos. Like you'll have like 1,000 people watching the Aries video, where you'll have like when it's the the Libras or the Sages, like 4,000, 5,000 views. So I'm probably preaching to the people who least are likely to listen to me, but I'm going to keep going here. You're going to find that if there is a love story in your life, that you're interested in somebody or they're interested in you, then sparks are flying around the 4th and 5th. That's that Venus Mars square, and Technically, it's Venus in the sign of friendships and larger groups of belonging. And there's a square or a tense energy, a hardship or friction, but that's also sexual chemistry with Mars in your third house. Now, this could be a sexually romantic, sizzling hot getaway on a trip with someone, or someone comes to visit you and the sparks are flying. But it can also maybe be a fight with a sibling, especially an eldest. So watch out for sibling frictions and arguments and misunderstandings and a lack of friendliness regarding a sibling or an extended family member, like an aunt, uncle, cousin, niece, or nephew. But that's a small story in the month ahead. It's not a big deal. When we move forward into the month and we talk about some of the Venus and Mercury stories, because that's really all that's happening. It's the smaller moving planets are making the story. Then what we would say is that, and I want to backstop for a minute. With Jupiter moving through the house of you are lucky, you are magnanimous, you are supercharged, you are leaderful, you are King Midas. Things are going your way in general. It's a benefic, greater benefic, moving through the Aries landscape until the middle of May. But also he's only moving in the month of February between approximately 5 and 12 degrees. So we could probably say 3 degrees to 15-degree Aries sun, moon, or rising will feel Jupiter's blessings quite a lot in February. We must remember that. Similarly, with Mars moving forward in your third house of siblings and trips and travel, and Jupiter in the sextile from the house of you, lucky opportunities for travel will be opening up for you in the month of February. And Mars also has a limited range of around 10 to 19 degrees. This means in general, anybody from 4 to 13 degrees of Aries sun, moon, and rising get the best blessings from the Jupiter-Mars combination. Forward momentum in the third house can also be finally going forward and teaching something that you want to teach, or learning something you wish to learn, and getting your act together in your online social media land and your world of the online stuff, or finally getting down with a writing project that you've been hesitating on. That's big themes for February. Now, I want to talk a little bit about the fact that Venus is building up for some seriously intense energy as she moves towards connecting with Neptune this month. And this is going to be it's coming out of Valentine's vibe going on in February, but it starts before Valentine's Day. So it definitely has the dreamy love, soulmate, twin flame energy going on here. But before we get to that, she's like building her way up because she's moving, right, wandering through, activating into her exaltation sign of Pisces all month until the 20th. She gets into Pisces around the end of January on the 26th, and she leaves there around the 20th of February. So Venus exalting you from the 12th house can be an amazing time during the month of February to take a trip, especially if it's dealing with foreign shores, or to be very successful financially because some of your money is coming from foreign lands or foreign shores or faraway places. So anyone like me who does barter and trade through PayPal and Stripe with people around the world, this is a good placement for Venus. But she's also exalting the house that has to do with our addictions and self-undoing, self-defeat. And this could really be she's exalting this place as well as our bedroom pleasures. And so there could be a time in your life here in February where you get in touch with your sensuality, your eroticism, your bedroom pleasures, but also maybe with a real clear bead on how to escape addiction, okay, or how to move away from addictive substances or habits and patterns. And then the reason is eventually she's going to be moving into contact with Neptune, who's sitting around the 23rd degree of the sign of Pisces. And Venus Neptune is like the best of worlds. It was the best of worlds and it was the worst of worlds. It can be like a dreamy, romantic, soulmate love, a vision, a dream, a high inspiration, a spiritual awakening through a female teacher. It's 12th house energies. It's a breakthrough in your creative mind or something. And then it can also be the god of pleasure meeting the god of addiction. And that combination is intense. And they're going to really hit that rendezvous point and come together to do this conversation called a conjunction. All right. On Valentine's Day, right? Like around that time on the 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th of the month, and epicenter 14th, 15th. Now, when they come together in this conversation, they're also hooking up with Arachne, an asteroid that has to do with what we wish to weave into reality, the weaver, the master weaver, the mortal girl who could best the gods. It can sometimes speak to a unique talent that is better than that your mortal self, your muggle self has a talent that's powerful, that could beat a god, that kind of thing. And this Arachne is being activated. So, this is a highly imaginative energy for you. It's your what dreams at night and what higher imagination and trance states can you go into, visions, vision questing. That's going to open up a very beautiful weaving that's very healing because there's a sextile to Hygeia around in your Capricorn 10th house around money, a weaving of a new vision, a new dream, a new possibility around earnings and career, your career path in general. Something like kind of soft and subtle and beautiful is hatching in your sky near Valentine's Day. And so to me, the feeling of that is something to do with an auspicious directional shift, ultimately around your finances and your career. And if you're going to fall in love, it's a long distance love because the 12th house is really not close to you. It's an aversion. So again, foreign lands, shores, or travel related love stories could be happening in this narrative. As the month goes on, eventually, we're in the same time frame, actually, Saturn will conjunct the Sun at 27 degrees of Aquarius. Now, Saturn and Sun come together every year, but this is the last time they're going to do this in Aquarius for 30 years. And this has been happening back in 21 and 22 in the month of February. And here it is again. What is it that you, or at January, February, what is it that you are going to finalize in your hopes, dreams, and wishes and great gains from your career house as the final answer? Because that's what's being asked of you around that Valentine's Day. It's like you want to step into this power. There's even like an asteroid for healing called Asclepia right beside this conjunction. So how can you almost really move into a new level of authority and power with clarity and realism and foundational new strategies for how you're going to achieve your dreams, wishes, and goals, but also how you're going to have great gains and success from your chosen 10th house Capricorn career. Wait till you get to March. Oh my God, that's when Pluto moves into your dreams and wishes house for the first time in 248 years. Then we have this little soft touch in the sky, Mercury, the messenger of the gods, sextiling Jupiter. The two of them sort of get along, right? King of Mount Olympus sends Mercury out to dispense his messages to the other gods and the mortals, etc. But sometimes they didn't get along, but for the most part, they work well together in the history of the characters, although Mercury never likes being in Jupiter's houses and Jupiter hates being in Mercury's houses. There's debilitated in each other's houses and therefore are signs, and therefore they tend to, at one level, have a bit of friction. But they're going to be flowing. Mercury will flow and Jupiter will flow in a conversation between each other, and that is between Mercury, who will have moved in to Aquarius starting in February on the 11th. So Mercury has left your 10th house where he would have been since December the 6th, including a retrograde as you revisioned your career. And now he's moving forward in the house of great gains after February 11th to March the 2nd. And in the middle of all of that, he starts to talk to Jupiter and he says over from the top of the sky, Jupiter, I'm here trying to get you, this Aries person, some great gains and recognition and success and maybe pennies from heaven and windfalls. Can you help? And Jupiter's in the house of the Aries place, you. And he says, yeah, sure, let's work on something. And the reason they're going to work together to make some of this come true is because there's flow in a sextile. Now, the other thing is that Mercury can be news, information, and messages from your larger social groups or friends or allies coming through with opportunities for you. And the dates around the 15th to the 19th of the month where you're going to see what I'm talking about. All right, that's where this energy hits a nice little juicy spot. And right after that, just right after that, Venus, the goddess of money, the goddess of love, the goddess of beauty, will sextile Pluto. Now this is happening. Oh, sextile Pluto. Is she sextile in Pluto? Yes, she is. This is happening at 29 degrees of the sign of Pisces, where she's exalted. She's at the tail end of your 12th house. And she's looking back at Pluto at the tail end of your 10th house. So this is career bonanza energy, power and wealth. Venus and Pluto make a wealth yoga in astrology, just like Jupiter and Pluto do. And so there's some kind of financial boost from foreign lands, foreign shores, faraway places, international barter and trade, career and success. Now, I could try to make a story about me. I'll be on the runway to start promoting my Sky Reader class. Maybe that's what that is. And like all these people signed up for my wait list. And I'm like, yay, I love my cohort of group, new students, and it's going to be amazing. I was going to start the class in March. I might have started now a little earlier, but I'm not sure. Because, I love teaching it, but I also want to make sure that I'm teaching it in a manner that fits with my client load, which, by the way, is too much. So I've cut back my schedule in April, May, and June. You'll notice if you go to book with me, there's only 3 booking days a week available, but I also can't keep up with as many clients as I've seen. So if you want to see me, you can get in April right now. The other thing I want to say is that the vibe here of the sextile between the goddess of money in her exaltation in your 12th house and Pluto in your 10th, it's rare in the sense that Pluto won't be in Capricorn again for this to happen. So this is kind of a really nice touch that you've been feeling some of this kind of touch of the sky since 2009 kind of vibe, 8 or 9, but it's 2009 when Pluto started talking to Venus from these 2 signs. But when Pluto leaves, it's gone. So this is kind of like whatever you've been doing since 2009, trying to wealth up your career and find a path forward. This is now on its last pass. So, you know, the last things that a planet does and the first things are often the most powerful. So wealthing up, lucking up your money stories, yay you, to do with career and money that you could accrue from foreign lands or barter trade or foreign shores, etc. Or love in a faraway land. That's really powerful. There's options here. I'm looking down at my notes. I probably should just prop my notes up here. That would be smarter than looking down all the time. Oh, did I cover the camera? Probably. So what else can I tell you? So much going on here. I would say that if you, because it's all systems go, that was the main thing, right? At the very tail end of the month, there's some square energy with Mercury and Uranus. This could be some unexpected news, a little shock and awe in the sky going on February 21st to about the 23rd. Mercury's moving through Aquarius, so that's your friendship circles, larger groups of belonging, clubs you belong to, your social life with larger networks of people, your hopes, dreams, and wishes. But there's probably Mercury is some news coming from your 11th house to talk to a square, a little jolt to do with not home, I apologize, to do with money and resources and possessions. Now, I don't know why it's coming from the Great Gains house too. So maybe there's this gnarly bit of shocking tension regarding a financial situation with regards to gains from your career. Now, it could be really just something simple as what we call a clawback. You know, someone signed up and paid money for something you were offering. Now they just want their money back. Just feels gnarly. Can be some information, news, or conversation or email or text to do with money and possession issues. That's all. A little jolt of ick around February 21 to 23. With Jupiter in the house of you, it all works out in your favor in the end, so it's not a big deal. But just get aware that you could clash at that time with somebody. And then, but Mercury follows up with a kind of a nice flow energy right in the same time frame, the 21st to the 25th or so, by trining Mars, and Mars is your Lord. He sends a very flowing conversation from your 11th house to your action hero god, your dude in your trips, travel, local neighborhood, online world, teaching and learning area. So it kind of like whatever is gritty and unexpected and maybe tense is also going to all work out and even make things better for you. So it's like it works out on your behalf. So even a trip up or a difficult conversation around money with somebody who is a ally, friend, or eldest sibling or something like that will work out in the end. Trust me, it's going to look good. And anything else I want to tell you? Did I miss a section of the sky I wanted to tell you about? I think I did. Sorry, guys. I'm going to go back a little bit. Around the 6th to the 9th of the month, I don't think I talked about that there's a Venus in a sextile. I mean, Mercury in a sextile to Venus. Well, Venus is in a sextile to Uranus. It just smacks of dreams coming true in love and money. Okay, so let's just go from the 5th to the 9th of the month, dreams coming true, exalted Venus trying to hatch something for you, exciting and new to do with money. Yeah, it could be a windfall for sure. I'm not going to pretend that couldn't happen. Mercury is in Capricorn, sextiling Neptune. So it could be a financial windfall, or it could be a love story that looks really lovely, blossoming around that time as well. If there's a love story, the person may be far away or not in proximity to you, but something is really glowing up here. All right, Aries, you're the sign that's least likely to listen. I hope you got through this. Stay well, enjoy February. March is a humdinger. Check my description box below. Please subscribe and check that notification bell, tip it off, because when I have one of my contests, which I gave 5 free readings away in the last 8 weeks, because people subscribe and they come to my premieres and they know I'm having one, and I do the flash contests, okay? And you could be one of the winners. Thanks for listening. Ciao, ciao.